What's going on, people? So, this right here, got a new pair of shoes in. I know I've done a lot of figure reviews and unboxings and shirt unboxings or whatever lately. And I know not everybody really signed up for that, and that's fine. You just don't watch them. I can tell by the numbers, they're always significantly lower. But some people do like that stuff, right? And those of you that do watch those and enjoy those, thanks a lot. I do appreciate that. I seriously do. And for those of you who don't, I get it. I mean, it is basically a shoe channel, technically. I might try to do like a long term story change or something and shift gears in the future. But for now, it's definitely a shoe channel. We'll see what happens later down the line. Anyway, so this right here, did a double unboxing of this and some other something or other the other day after my little sneaker battle thing. Right, for the people who decided to stick around up here, let's talk about some shoes since we're here talking about it already, and it saves me time on days like this. Though I usually take the time where I would have done all the opening of the box and just fill it with stuff like this. So I'm not really saving time, honestly. I just tell myself I am. Anyways, so this right here, right? This, according to the side of the box, is a Gel-Lyte III OG in Ivory and Black. Now, the thing about these, right? The thing that made me want to get them is that they're the other half of a pack that I picked up. So I already had this pair, right? That's why it's here in my hand, and I did a review at some point. This is the Aqua Angel and Mako Blue, something like that. These both come from the Back Streets of Japan pack, and since I was halfway done, I figured I may as well buy the other one, so that's what happened, right? And I gotta say, it's looking pretty good. But I'm gonna give you some pictures and all that stuff to give that whole breakdown I generally do, so that way, past me just saying they look pretty good, is you watching the video and walking away for yourself and thinking, do they look pretty good? You'll find out your own answer for yourself, because I'm just some dude on the internet. Like, don't necessarily take my word for things. Watch the video, take stuff out of the video, throw it around in your head for a little while, make your own decision, people. Live your own life. I always say that for a reason. Anywho, as I said, this right here, Asics Gel-Lyte III OG in some kind of black and ivory colorway from the Back Streets of Japan pack. I'm going to break these things down real quick for you, hopefully real quick. If not, it'll just take a while. I don't really care either way. Starting with the bottom, down there, what we have going on is basically your standard outsole that you have on these. Down there in the back, you've got some black. Up in the front, you've got some black as well. Down there in the middle, you've got some green. And on the outskirts, on the sides, you got a little bit of that off-white kind of color going on. Sort of a beige type of thing. Moving on past that, looking at things from the side off the midsole here, you got the same thing that you saw on the bottom for the most part, just up here, right? So it's a slightly different layout. There's the inside of it for you. And really the only thing where it kind of switches up is on the back, it does have that nice little strip. And then on the side here, you do have Asics set on into the side. So there's that for you. All standard stuff, right? But moving on to the rest of the upper where things actually matter, because this is usually what sells people on stuff or tells them not to buy it. Let's talk about that, right? So down here around the toe box, now the material on here for an Asics shoe is pretty much your standard, what you expect, right? It's nothing amazing. It's got that sort of a felt, maybe like a tennis ball type of feel almost going on down here. So that's cool. It feels good. It's just not like amazing to where you want to run out and tell everybody all about it. And then above that, you've got this standard mesh going on, and that second verse, same as the first, right? It's not the same material, but you walk away with the same thought in that it feels good, but it's not amazing, right? But it's pretty good, especially considering these are like $110 retail. So you got that going on, and that's kind of like that sort of off-white sort of color, but it almost has like a beige tint to it, you know? In some areas it's got a little bit of green, but yeah, down there it's kind of a beige versus this, which is more of like a light gray. And then down here it's got those two blocks which don't look to be 3M, it looks to be just your standard gray leather down there. Anywho, moving on to the middle-ish area. So in this section you generally have like the Asics logo in the middle, and that's going to be outlined with a little bit of gray suede on the front area, and then, not suede, excuse me, a little bit of like that same felt type material up there. And then on the back end, it's the same thing, just instead of that color, instead of that gray, you have a lighter, close to white, but not quite. You do have some of that gray on the front area here, right above there, at the bottom of the laces. And then on the inside, as I was saying, you do have the black Asics logo outlined in green, and then you've got a green mesh sort of thing going on behind it. And then as far as the layers behind there, on the front end, it's that closer to silverish gray type thing. On the back end, it's kind of that off-white, sort of almost like a light yellow slipped in there. Hopefully the pictures do it justice so you can kind of walk away from this knowing exactly what I'm talking about. But you have that going on. And then down up in here, you do have the little green plastic areas holding down the laces, just to kind of bring this whole area together, color-wise. Moving on back just a little bit. So you got the Gel-Lyte 3 stitched into the side of here. Actually, no, that's not stitching. That's just kind of like laid on there, almost like a jersey in some senses. So you got that going on with just this standard felt type feeling that you saw in the front area, same material. And then above that, the Asics logo does kind of flow all the way to the back of the shoe. But above that, you do have just that gray sort of mesh thing going on to make up the inner area. Because again, these are built like Hirachis, so when you look on the inside, you do have that extra layer where the split tongue is and all that. So that's just what all this is up here. Very nice though. But anyways, as I was saying, as you get to the back, the Asics logo just kind of flows around, which actually brings you to another Asics logo where it says Asics at the top on black felt with that same yellowish kind of color. And then down below, you have another green cage or another green mesh cage type thing with gel written in grayish colors on a black background. So there's that for you. And then down on the bottom, you do just have that gray kind of heel cup going on at the bottom area. So for the most part, that's kind of like the outside of the shoe. A lot of the same colors, but I think what makes it work so well is just that, I don't know, I guess it just works well, you know? There's nothing to it. It's not magic, people. You just get the right colors and it works out. I do like that kind of a light mint sort of color that it's kind of how it almost looks with these in some kind of ways. But I really like the green all in all, you know? I'm a green guy. It's one of my favorites. So there's that. But let's go ahead and finish out the outside with these laces. So these laces are pretty much just like the standard type of thing you get on like Air Maxes and stuff. It's nothing amazing, just your flat black laces, right? And so those, as I was saying before, not hide, but they kind of hold things down for this here split tongue action going on. Depending on your foot, hopefully you can get that to close. If not, you know, you can go half size up next time or something. It's not a huge deal to everybody, but to someone like me, it'd be a problem. I don't know, the minor details like that sometimes just bother me. And then on the tips of the laces, you do have a little bit of green going on there, matching up with what you saw on the side of the shoe before. So past that, not a whole lot to say. And if you're curious, the outside of this second layer here feels basically the exact same as you've had on the toe box. So that's all just one type of material there. So that's fine, at least to me. And it is very plush. I don't know if you can really see that, but we'll get some pictures in there and all that stuff, I assume. But while we're talking about what's on the inside, let's hit you with a picture down on there. So basically it just says Asics, right? Which you have probably come to expect from a lot of these shoes. And again, it kind of has like a light mint sort of vibe to it as far as that color goes, and then just like the black lettering. But there's that for you. Otherwise, I think we've covered everything there is to talk about with the outside of the shoe. I'll put those personal thoughts one more time. I do really like these. Originally, like, I wasn't going out of my way for them, and had they not been the other half of the pack, I probably wouldn't have bought them. But I got no complaints about them. If anything, maybe I would have bought them when they went on a deeper sale or something like that. But just as they were, I have enough Asics Gel-Lyte 3s already. But, you know, that pack mentality, man, that'll get you every time. So, there's enough of that for you. Let's talk about some sizing though, because that's important. So, I bought these in my standard Nike size, which for me is a 9.5, right? So comparing these to something like an Air Max 90, I was about to say Air Max 3, but not everybody calls them that. Air Max 90. So I'd say it's a pretty similar sizing, at least to me. So if you happen to have any of those or any other Air Maxes or whatever, or if you don't and you just happen to have some other casual wear Nikes, I'd say go with that size and you'll probably be okay. If you're not okay, when you get these, they do have a pretty solid return policy and their stuff doesn't really just fly off shelves most of the time. So you'll probably be good with getting a little exchange done and all that good stuff. So there's that. Now, past the sizing and all that stuff, when it comes down to like the comfort level of these, I gotta say these are up there. I don't want to oversell it and make it sound like it's the most comfortable thing I've ever worn, because it isn't. But it's comfortable enough that I didn't mind buying like 6 other pairs of these or something like that, because I know that I can wear these all day, any day, depending on the weather. If it's raining, you might not want to, and be totally comfortable all day without having to take them off because they're like killing my feet or anything like that. And they're generally pretty breathable as well. Even the ones that have different materials, usually they have some sort of perforations on the side, as you may have seen in one of the reviews I did. This pair, it's just your standard like cloth type materials, so you're going to be good with them. But all in all, go with your normal size, and know that if you want something to wear all day while you're out running around doing summer things, because it's almost time for that, these are going to be on your side while you're doing it. You know what I'm saying? So there's that for you. I think we've covered everything. If we haven't covered everything, well, I don't know. Watch some of the other reviews, because they all pretty much go the same way, and I may have dropped a little gem or two in one of the other ones that I didn't drop in this one. And I'm not just saying that to make you watch my other reviews. I honestly don't care if you do. I'm just saying, if you want to make sure you got all the information, it's worth considering. So, now we're good. Now we're done. At least I'm done. I don't know what you're doing. So, have a nice rest of your day or rest of your night, whatever it is, wherever you are. I am going to clean up this mess, because I've been doing a lot of reviews lately, and I seemingly have left everything right here in some obstacle course that I have to get through to get anywhere else in this apartment. So I'm just going to deal with that. Later, people.